Afternoon. Let's see. So we should have chat options for this one. This is kind of what I was aiming for. So for those of you that are like, who the heck is this lady? What are you doing over here? I am creating or I've created a brand new free community that is through my website. And unfortunately, the biggest thing that I'm lacking is being able to go live in the community. So I've been really having a ton of technical issues the last 2 days trying to upload videos, and it's happening, but not as quickly as I would like to. And the other part of the piece of the puzzle that's missing is being able to answer questions live. So I wanted to be able to do that and give people the option to do this. So a lot of trial and error. Again, loving any feedback you guys have for me on the community and how it's going and just your response on everything. Okay, so hello. It is day 3 inside of our free community, the Next Level Living community, and we are on day 3 out of 5 in our free Build Your Wellness Schedule workshop. And I'm super excited for this. Day 3, day 2 and day 3 are probably my favorite. I got a little bit excited yesterday. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and watch. At the start of the week, I talked a little bit about my story, who I am, and why I created this group. Thank you, by the way, for being founding members. And yesterday we talked about movement, fitness, how to create that time in your day, whether you're starting out with nothing or you're starting out small. And I also want to make sure that you guys saw that I uploaded a PDF full of sample workouts. So we had some examples of 5 to 10 minute movement style workouts. And then I uploaded a PDF of some that are like generally about 30 minutes, but all kinds of abilities and different styles for you to choose from there. So love to get your thoughts on what you think of that. If you have any questions while I am going live, make sure you drop those below. I do think that I can see live messages when you guys come in if you have any questions on the fly. So, and then if this is your day 1 with us this week, make sure you go back and watch day 1 and 2 to get up to speed with your homework and your action items. Okay. One of the big things that I want to just interject in here is because this is just so important, right? And I hear this all the time when I go through my own trainings and I'm trying to better my own self. And you are here, which I am so appreciative and so grateful and so excited about, because you had the desire to make a change, right? You are inside of our community. You are working hard. You are doing things because you wanted something to be different about your health and wellness routine, right? You're not just here to absorb the information. You're here to take action and see real change. Okay. So please don't just like skate through this week, like being a fly on the wall and just watching the other people comment and do the work. This group is here to support you and hold you accountable. And that's why you're here, right? You joined for a reason. You didn't join just to have another group under your belt, right? Taking action, even if it's messy or imperfect, is better than no action at all. Okay, so don't just be an absorber of information. Take what you're learning and apply it, and take that action, right? Do that homework, take those action steps. Okay. And I am loving seeing all the comments this week and your goals that you set for your bedtime routines. Oh my gosh, just lost my place. I'll also preface that I am reading bullet points because if I don't stick to something, I will go off in a tangent, and I want to make sure to stick to the point, get what we need to talk about in and out and done, right? So, you guys, we talked about setting morning routines, right? And, once again, it's not about being perfect, right? There's going to be a lot of trial and error when it comes to this stuff, okay? And it sometimes takes a little bit to find your rhythm, right? It's going to take some days that are just going to be, a struggle, and some that are just going to feel really great, right? And then I think to myself, oh, I need to do more of that, right? And that's a big reason why we talk about tracking and we talk about having a schedule and stuff, so you can reflect back later and be like, this is why this worked, or this is why this didn't work, right? Tracking is always going to leave clues and help you on your journey, right? Okay. And so here's the thing, guys. The secret behind all the successful women and moms that you see out there who are doing all the things, they're healthy, they're fit, they've got exciting businesses, they failed a lot, okay? The more successful someone is, you can bet that they made a lot of mistakes and had a lot of setbacks, all right? Because when you fail, this is when you learn. Failure is just data. It's just data, guys. Okay. It's data that you take and learn from to get better. Right. So please think about that, right? That I want you to fail. I want you to make mistakes when you're going through this journey, because that is how you learn how to get better. Right. I'm always using the example of my youngest, who's like gets so upset when he can't beat the boss on the video game. Not sure who the boss is, because sometimes it's like a weird animal or sometimes it's like a guy, but there's always a boss on every video game that you have to beat the boss. And so I have to like remind him, like, do you remember when you started this game over here, you didn't beat the boss the first time, right? You're not going to beat the boss the first time. It's just not going to happen, right? You got to keep doing it. You play the game and you play the game and you consistently go through the mazes and the challenges and the things that it throws at you until you beat the boss, right? And even now at this stage of the game, 20 something years later, and all of the errors and all of the ups and the downs, I'm still learning how to get better. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff that's on autopilot right now, things I don't even think about that I do during my day. But there's still a lot of ways for me to get better. And I also feel like you're foolish to think that there's an end of your journey, right? There's always going to be room for improvement, always. And that's another thing that I love and instill inside of my my community is, and we call it the next level living fit gym for a reason, because there's always going to be a next level. You're always going to find a way to get better. There's always going to be a way to get better with your fitness, with your nutrition. There's going to be ways to challenge ourselves. There's going to be ways to make it better, to reach a bigger and better goal. There always will be something, right? Okay. The biggest mistake that I see in so many of the women that I work with is that they have this all or nothing mindset. Okay. They set the standard so high that they can't reach that bar. And then they feel bad and guilty and say, see, I told you I couldn't do this. I told you this was going to be too hard for me. Nothing ever works for me. And all that is doing is reinforcing what your brain has already told you, right? Our brain is setting us up for failure in such a way that we need to learn how to change that script, right? So be thinking about that. Like, what are the stories that you're telling yourself? You have to be open and willing to ditch that all or nothing mindset, okay? Because this journey's not going to be perfect, right? There's going to be hard times. There's going to be days when you want to give up. It's not if it's going to happen, it's when it happens. The answer and question really is, what are you going to do about it once it does, right? If you are faced with a failure, something that you're struggling with, how are you going to approach it? I always say to my kids, you can't help for other people's feelings. You can't help for outside, factors that are happening, but you can help how you react, how you feel, and what your response is, right? So what are you going to do about it when it gets hard, right? We are not women who give up. If you're in here, you're following me, you're in here for a reason. You're not watching this because you're just skating by life. You're watching because you're tired of being in the same place. You're frustrated, and you saw this as an opportunity to learn how to make things different, to feel better, to have more energy, and be the woman that you were meant to be. Okay, so let's talk about nutrition today. By far the hardest part for most people, right? And I'm just going to tell you that it's taken me a really long time to get it right, okay? I actually started off my fitness journey because I wanted to eat. yeah, I talked to you guys about how I wanted to save time from home, but I really wanted something that was intense enough so that I could eat and drink all the things all weekend long that I wanted to. And I did that for a long, long time. It was almost like this like game on the weekends to see how many restaurants we could eat out at, how much takeout we could get. Drinking was always involved as well. So it was all the beers and all that stuff. And I would literally be doing like insanity or something, killing myself all week long, barely eating anything, Diet Cokes, all that stuff. And then on the weekends, like totally overdoing it. So I was like, oh, lose a bunch of weight during the week and then gain it all back in the week. I can only imagine how many calories I would consume. I mean, we're talking like cheese fries from the Outback Steakhouse and like diner food. And it was not very good. The habits back then that I had were atrocious. And so it took me a long time to kick those thoughts out of my head, because for a very long time, even when I started to get on my nutrition plan and things started to change for me, Fridays would roll around and I'd go, oh, what are we eating? Where are we going for the weekend? What are we doing? Right? I still have those thoughts. Luckily today I don't act on them like we used to. And it's so expensive to eat out now that it's not even interesting to do that. Right? So the other thing is that we come with a lot of baggage. The way that we were brought up around food, what our moms thought about food and dieting, right? And it's probably mostly the wrong info. I mean, my mom was all about fat-free dieting, low fat, like all that stuff. I'm going to be 50 next year, and I was born in the 70s. So it was like the 80s mindset, of low fat, no fat, all that stuff, and, restricting your calories and all of that kind of stuff. So we really have to work hard on ditching that diet culture, right? Thinking about food in a new way, right? Things are different today than they used to be. There's a lot more information out there. There's a lot more, reports and examples of successes when we eat more foods, when we consume more in the right ways, right? So, the biggest thing is that I find when I work with a lot of people is that they just really overcomplicate things. I think a lot of us envision a world of, starvation, dieting, giving up pizza, giving up cocktails, and it sounds scary, right? And I'll be honest with you, I don't give up any of those things, right? Because you don't have to. You don't have to give up the things that you love. There's a different way to go about it, and you can eat your cake and eat it too, so to speak. Okay. But for someone that's just starting out, I get it. It's totally scary. I agreed with that. I was like, am I going to have to log my foods forever? Like I was thinking, I found my Fitness Pal, 1,200 calories. Am I going to have to log forever? Like this seemed like the worst. I was barely eating anything. I was hungry, like felt like crap when I was trying to lift weights. Like there was something wrong. Like I knew that there was a different way to go about it, but I didn't know the information. What you don't know, right? But then when you know, you can do better, but, and these days, especially, there's so much misinformation, on social media, and it's so confusing. You even have like doctors and different people out there with credentials telling you what they think and that's not healthy. Right. So I get it. It's scary. It's confusing. It's really hard to know what's best. But we really want to make sure that we kind of step back and talk about the first step in this, because we see that this is, want to get to the end result and we want all those things. We want it to become easy for us, but we have to kind of do some work on the front end first, and prep and schedule and think before we can get to the next steps. Right. So honestly, guys, the first step is your mindset, right? To stop telling yourself it's going to be hard, that you can't do it. You need to stop thinking about all the sacrifices that you have to make and all the things that you have to say no to, because that's not serving you. Your health and your wellness does not start with your workouts or inside the gym. It doesn't start in the kitchen. Your journey starts with the 6 inches between your ears, okay? And as soon as you can remove some of those self-limiting beliefs, the rest will just come naturally, right? But it takes work. And this is why we talk about the mindset and personal growth. We're going to get into this a little bit more. And if you're a part of our bigger community, and our challenge for November, you'll see how much focus we put on mindset. And they'll be implemented within our journey as a part of what we do. And I have a big surprise coming for you guys next month on this. But For now, we just want to make sure that we're focusing on creating that morning routine like we've been talking about. We're going to build that over time. But this is where your biggest transformation will take place. I always talk about, yes, I lost 80 pounds on the programs and the nutrition. I've been able to, keep that off and maintain that for a long time. But the biggest transformation to date is what has happened between my ears, how I think about my health, how I think about my family, how I think about parenting. I have more patience. I have more energy. I'm able to turn my days around like that because of my thoughts, right? That's so, so powerful, guys. And I can show you how to do that too. Okay, so today I asked you guys to write down your food and keep a journal. Okay, so this is not about judgment. This is really just about awareness. I don't want you to change anything. I just want you to write down what you're eating and keep track of it. Okay, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. And so, because for most of you, it's just going to be some small tweaks and some education to get you going in the right direction. Okay. I think that a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to have to start over. It's like an overhaul. It's probably not. It's probably not as bad as you think. There's just a lot of usually like, oh, add this here, check this here, like do this, right? Kind of a thing. Right. When I coach my clients through nutrition, it's always going to be about balance. I don't believe in cleanses. I don't believe in dieting. I don't believe in removing macros like carbs. Like we need all the food. And in 99.9% of the women I work with, they're not eating nearly enough food to fuel their body for their goals. Like hands down, that's the biggest thing that I find out is they're not eating enough food. They're not eating enough protein. And it's crazy to think about because people are like, oh, I'm overweight or whatever. Well, it's kind of backfiring on you, right? Your metabolism is slowing down. When you don't consume enough food to meet your body's energy needs, it has other physical and physiological effects that can be detrimental long term, you guys. We're talking about muscle loss. I mentioned slow metabolism, nutritional deficiencies, energy depletion, weakened immune system, hormonal imbalances, guys, mood change, loss of bone density, hair and skin problems, right? I think a lot of people think, oh, there's an issue with my hormones or you can't lose weight after 40. And it's because you're just not meeting all of your requirements nutritionally, right? It's important, so important to maintain a balanced and calorie appropriate diet to ensure you're getting the enough nutrients your body needs for function, guys. Your body needs to function, right? And so if we're looking to lose weight, then we're doing it with a gradual and sustainable approach. We're combining a healthy, balanced meal with regular exercise rather than extreme calorie restriction. Okay, so there are a couple of approaches that I use depending on the person. And I have a fun little quiz that you guys can take to determine which path is going to work best for you. And I'll drop that quiz link in the group later today. So let me know if you guys have any questions. I don't know if anybody was able to join me live today. Make sure you're keeping a journal on all your foods this week. Let's see where you are, and we'll revisit that again. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to dive into unplugging and what that looks like, and best practices for that. Okay, don't forget that enrollment is open already for my November 30-day challenge. Okay, it's called the Burn It to Earn It Bootcamp. I'm so excited because we're going to be doing one of my favorite programs all together. Muscle burns fat. Okay, this program is super fun, guys. The energy is so high. It's designed to help you build lean muscle while simultaneously burning fat. It's a structured program with a calendar to follow that includes a combination of strength training and cardiovascular exercise, 30 minutes a day, 5 to 7 days a week, depending on which level that you choose. And we can talk about that. Nutrition is also included, so we can get the results back of that quiz. We'll pair the workouts with your nutrition, and it'll give you a complete system to follow that's super simple. Okay. Prioritizing protein is going to be the name of our game, our focus for the month in November. So also included will be our all natural plant-based supplements and optional protein bars as a bonus for all my snackers out there. Yum, yum, yum. Who doesn't love healthy Girl Scout cookies? This 30-day challenge group opens with prep week on November 1st, which is next week. And then we'll all start our day one together on November 6th, which I'm super excited about. So at the top of your app, there is a button, and it says, fill out this form. Fill out this form. Fill out form. And so what you can do there is simply apply to be a part of our wellness challenge for November. It's going to gather some information for you on your individual journey to help me just gain a better understanding of your needs and allow me to put the best tools and resources together for you based on the feedback form. So super excited for that. I'm going to be doing the advanced version. I did the beginner version this month. I just finished that today, and I'll be doing the next level into next month. So if you guys have questions on that, I also have sample workouts. So if you're feeling like you're not sure if you'd be a beginner or where you'd fall, you can let me know, and I'll send you a sample of the workout to try. If you're catching this video for the first time, don't forget to go back and watch the first ones. If this method is working really well for everyone, I will continue to go live for the remainder of our week. We've got Thursday and Friday left and some good topics coming up for that. So I'm super excited. Happy to be able to bring all these tools and resources for you guys and help you to find your health and wellness path and build that schedule. Any questions, drop them below. Can't wait to see your homework. And I will talk to you guys soon.